Hey everyone, it's Nightlight9, and in this video, we are awakening from our slumber that has been the last week. Ending the year has been a little bit slow for Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, but the data mines that have come from the Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis unofficial Discord, shout out to you guys for doing all that hard work for us, much appreciated. This information has woken me up, it's brought me back to life, and I'm very excited to share it with you. As you see on screen, Yuffie seems to be almost guaranteed that it will be at least the character or one of the characters, depending, whether or not that was a typo or whatever. But it will be one of the new characters or the new character in mid-January. Very, very excited about this and can't wait to see what she gets. However, before she comes, we're going to be tempted. We're going to be tempted with a banner, and it is amazing. Let's get into that. So, from the data mine, this is what the new banner is going to look like if the data mine is accurate. So, let's just assume for now that it is and go through this. Cloud and Sephiroth are featured on this, and I mean, really, that is amazing. I think that these two obviously have the most love typically of anybody, so they're really bringing it on this banner after they've had a couple sleepers, to be honest with you. Let's go through. Official festive garb for Cloud, I can tell you, and we will look at the wallpaper after this. This looks sick. Really, really like it. It reminds me of, Mirasame battle garb to the nth degree, right? Making it white, kind of adding some flair to it. The katana that he's got. Oh man, it just looks really, really good, and I'm really excited about that. As far as the abilities go, though, we've got boost physical attack. Cloud is always kind of geared towards physical attack. Flame Blade Arcanum. We have been waiting so long to get the Fire Arcanum. It looks like it's finally about to be here, and that'll make this banner pretty much a must-pull for most players. The weapon that he's got, Sky Splitter, Blazing Strike, inflicts up to 850% fire damage and physical fire damage, which means these all go in the same direction, right? The guard boosts physical attack. We know that Cloud is geared towards that. It's fire. He's got the Fire Arcanum, and the move does physical damage. This is what I want in a banner. Moving over to Sephiroth, we've got Celebratory Garb, boost HP, definitely good. Fire Mastery increases fire ability damage by 20%. Yes, it is not as powerful as Fire Arcanum. However, this is really shaping Sephiroth up to be an even more balanced and better elemental damage dealer than he already was. Because if he gets this, he will have Fire Mastery, Wind Mastery, and Ice Arcanum. That really, really is rounding out his kit to be the all-around elemental damage dealer, and somebody that's easy to build for, to say, look, I know he can fit multiple roles, especially if you put two different weapons on him. You can knock out two elements and actually be pretty strong with both of them. Radiant Edge down here, I'm not really sure how to pronounce that ability, so I'm going to skip the pronunciation of it. It inflicts up to 540% non-elemental physical damage to a single enemy. I'm not really concerned about that one way or the other, but here's what's great about it. Reduces an enemy's physical defense, okay, and with the current power creep meta, of course it has to do some other sort of debuff to be relevant now, right? It drastically reduces that enemy's fire resistance as long as his own HP is above 50%. I don't really care about the arbitrary threshold there. Let's just assume he probably will be. This is basically like a bald eagle, only better for a couple of reasons. One, with prototype Crimson Blade, Sephiroth already has access to a pretty good fire weapon. But two, I'm guessing it does the same as the bald eagle, where it's probably a mid-potency reduction and probably can stack to high, but because he already has this ability to both now Fire Mastery potentially and prototype Crimson Blade, he can actually help himself. Whereas Lucia, it was hard because she didn't really have a good ice weapon. She just had this good companion weapon with the debuff with Bald Eagle. Obviously it was great, but it still felt a little bit awkward trying to jam her into parties when you're trying to do a lot of ice damage, for example. This completes everything. This banner, if these are both on the same banner, I think this is This is mind-blowingly good. It is an absolute must pull, and yeah, that's going to slow people down for Yuffie. I know, because she's probably coming out with a banner the very next one. But you know, the devs know what they're doing. However, I'm genuinely excited about this because you know what? I'd rather have to make tough decisions, but have to actively think about what I'm doing and be excited and be a little bit nervous or anxious than be bored. So I'm all for it. I'm really happy to hear this. Now, along with this banner, we're going to have 2 wallpapers, of course, and these wallpapers also look fantastic. Like this cloud with the, you know, the red sun and the cherry blossom trees, just amazing. Like really gives you just this magical feeling, you know, of being in Japan. And then the dichotomy with Sephiroth's being the moon and the blue blossoms as opposed to the red and it's dark. Like, I love the contrast of these wallpapers, and I feel like they're going to look really, really awesome. This is maybe not the very first time, but definitely stands out in my mind as some wallpapers that I actually really want to get just for the sake of having the cool looking wallpaper. That's not normally something that I am that concentrated on, but these actually look really good. Kudos to them. Now, the next thing I want to go through real briefly is the name of the New Year event is going to be called the Wily Hunter. That's a cool name, I think. Definitely a cool event picture. I like what they're doing here. It looks very festive. And I think with that, we are going to see the new Aerith weapon. I believe this is probably a free-to-play weapon, mostly because just what it's doing kind of seems like the kind of stats and stuff and abilities we would get on event weapons. I'm not really super excited about the, you know, the breach surge here. Slightly reduces physical defense. It's not elemental magic damage. Whatever. Who's physical defense? If you don't have enough of it already, by the time you get this, you're going to have plenty, because I feel like this is like 3 or 4 weapons in a row that boost physical defense. So, you know, okay, couldn't hurt to have it. As far as the top piece of this goes, though, the New Year Step Up draw. Very, very interested to see how they do this. For those of you who don't know, a Step Up is typically a system where every time you do a 10 pull, you advance forward in this Step Up system, and usually there'll be anywhere from 3 to 5 steps. And it's kind of like a pity system where when you get to the final step, whether it's step 3, step 5, or whatever they decide it's going to be, you're guaranteed to get whatever it is you're going for. Whether it's a costume, you know, in some games a unit, a weapon, something like that. So 2 loops only would mean that you can probably get to the guarantee 2 times before it's over, or before you run out. You know, you can't do it anymore after that. I will be really interested to see if they make this available to everyone, or if it's going to be red crystals only, because another mechanic of step-ups that are in most gacha games is it's paid only, or in this game, be only red crystals to do those summons. We'll have to see how they handle that. Either way, I think it's exciting to have this in the game, and I do think it's a good mechanic. Moving along, the New Year campaign banner looks like this. I think that looks really cool as well. I would probably make this like a desktop background if I just removed the New Year campaign letters. This looks awesome. Very excited to see what they're doing here. A new premium hunt as well, and this one is another 6,000 blue crystals. So it seems that, I don't know if they're just doing that for the Christmas and the New Year's, but if they're continuing to do that moving forward, 6,000, that makes that a really good deal, to be honest with you, especially with all the other stuff that you get. If you are a light spender, I can tell you the one thing that I spend on is the premium hunt. I think it's just got a lot of good stuff in it, and it is worth it if you're somebody who wants to spend, you're looking at spending like, I don't know what it is, $13, $15 a month for that. And you could always skip a month if you want. So something to be excited about. Here though, we are getting so many free crystals and draws. This should really help us get where we need to be with our current weapon pool. And it's another reason that I'm not a big fan of this current wishlist only banner, because 240 draws coming with the new year. Yeah, I don't have a way to manipulate those and try to force certain weapons, but I don't know, there just comes a point where I feel like you're gonna get most of the stuff you need at one time or another anyway, along with 3,000 crystals, a 5-star guaranteed weapon. Really amazing. Then if you come down, you're also gonna get 6,000 more crystals in a login event, and then 1,000 more from missions. So that's like 10,000 blue crystals they're going to give us, which I can tell you, you're probably going to need if you plan on summoning on the Cloud Sephiroth banner and then also on the Yuffie banner, which are going to almost surely be back to back. The last thing about the New Year event, and I think this is genuinely cool and it does excite me, especially because my stamina tonics have finally been building back up, is of course golden cactuars, but also an all boost campaign during this period. Every single boost is going to be active at the same time, is what it appears like from the words and this banner. That is amazing. We have not had a moment like that yet that I can think of in this game. So I'm very excited for all of that. This is what the new app icon will look like. It will feature Cloud, apparently in his new garb, and also with the new wallpaper background. I think it's going to look pretty cool. And I'm imagining that will stay until Yuffie drops. The last thing from the data mine that I want to go through is the new dungeon ranking. Mount Nibel is reportedly going to be the next dungeon ranking, and it says here recommended elements are going to be ice and earth. So maybe Lucia will actually get the content that she was waiting for from her banner that happened weeks ago. You know, I know everybody was probably a little bit surprised that you got this earth Arcanum and you pulled for this earth weapon, and then there really wasn't almost anything that needed it. It was all ice, but then it was magical ice. So now I wonder if this is going to be physical ice, even though the earth stuff Lucia got was magical based. I don't know how they'll handle it, but I'm really excited. I always like a dungeon ranking event, and I will be really happy to get into this. So that's everything from the leaks and the data mines. Again, shout out to the unofficial Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis Discord for providing this information. But I would like to know, what do you guys think? Are you excited about the new stuff coming up? Or at least, are you as excited as I am? I'm very, very excited about this banner. Is it going to be something you think you'll pull on if it looks like this? And if so, how hard are we going to pull? Or are you going to kind of skip this, hoping for Yuffie? I don't see many people doing that, but I would like to hear what people think about this coming likely back to back with Yuffie right afterwards. That's all I have today. Subscribe for future content. I appreciate all of your support. And as always, thanks for watching.